Hello my sweets, it's Keisha. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome and thank you so much for choosing to watch my video. In today's final Christmas in July 2021 video, I'll be showing you how I made this gingerbread man adorned Santa mailbox. Perfect for any kiddos in your life, or if you're anything like me, just a big kid at heart. So if you'd like to see how I made this cutie, just keep watching. I started this project by mixing Apple Barrel's Territorial Beige with Nutmeg Brown and Harvest Orange until I got a gingerbread color I was happy with. I will paint this Dollar Tree gingerbread man on the sides and back only, as I didn't want to use the raised side and could only remove the buttons. This portion of the project was heavily inspired by Tracy from Country Charm by Tracy. I have linked her video and channel in the description box below. Next I came in with chocolate bar to do some shading. I dipped half of my brush in the paint, then the other half in water and blended it on a napkin, then applied it around the perimeter of the gingerbread man. For the cheeks I used red apple and an old brush and stippled on the color. Later you'll see I changed the color of the cheeks a bit. To add the eyes and the smile, I used jet black. I penciled in the facial features prior to painting as I'm not confident with my freehand skills. I used red apple for the nose, and this is when I decided to add some Cameo pink to change the color of the cheeks. I then used the end of my paintbrush and white paint to add catch lights to both the eyes and the nose. Here I'm using antique white and a small detail brush to add the icing squiggle around the head. Then using a flat brush, I added the squiggle detail to the arms and the legs. While I had the antique white out, I painted a 7x3 board that can be purchased at Dollar Tree and Walmart. And after it dried, I went around the edges and perimeter with apple red paint. Next, using white paint and a detail brush, I painted stripes for a peppermint detail. For shading and dimension, I used the same technique as earlier with Territorial Beige. After pencil lettering Santa Mail, I went over it with jet black paint. If you prefer not to use this method, an alternative is stickers, or you can use your vinyl machine if you have one available to you. Next, I watered down light mocha and chocolate bar paint. Then I used a Dollar Tree stencil brush and a craft stick to splatter the paints on both the sign and the gingerbread man. Make sure you pull the stick towards you so that the paint goes on your surfaces and not you. Ask me how I know. For more detail, I use an ultra-fine point black Sharpie to do squiggle lines around both the gingerbread man and the sign. Next, I used my drill with a 5/32 drill bit to make holes in the gingerbread man's hands. If you prefer not to use this method or don't have a drill, a hammer and nail may work, or a hole punch, but be careful not to split the wood. To make the garland, I have a garland tie and berry garland from Dollar Tree, fabrics from my stash, and various buttons purchased from Joann fabric. I began by wrapping the berry garland around the garland tie twice. Then I fit it onto the gingerbread man utilizing the holes I drilled previously. After a trim and a couple adjustments came the fabric ribbons and the button embellishments. I used green floral wire to attach the buttons to the garland. You'll see I removed the garland from the gingerbread man because 1, it was easier to handle, and 2, because I forgot to top coat it and the sign with glossy Mod Podge. Once the Mod Podge was dry, I reattached the garland and secured it on the back with hot glue. Again, this portion of the video was inspired by Tracy from Country Charm by Tracy. I've linked the video and the channel down below. I encourage you to check out her channel as she's been doing YouTube for many years and has a plethora of inspiration to share. Here I have 1 pack of 1-gallon paint stirrers and 2 packs of 5-gallon paint stirrers that I cut to 14 inches. I used 3 of these love signs from Dollar Tree to make the top, bottom, and sides. You can use all Dollar Tree materials for this box if you prefer, but I chose to use materials I had on hand as my stash is a little out of control. For the front of the box, I'm using 8 1-gallon paint stirrers, and I used giant craft sticks from Walmart to hold them together. For the back, I used 6 of the 5-gallon paint stirrers cut down to 14 inches and glued them together the same way. After the glue was set, I painted the inside of the pieces with Waverly chalk paint in Ivory. Next, using the side and bottom pieces, I marked the front and back pieces as shown. These will be guidelines as to where to glue some tumbling tower blocks for some more stability. Next, I'll glue the tumbling tower blocks on the inside of the guidelines on the front and back pieces, being sure to secure them with extra glue. Next, I secured the sides of the box to the back of the box with the help of the tumbling tower blocks that were added. I removed any excess wood glue and secured the edges with additional hot glue. Before permanently gluing down the front, I did a quick dry fit. It fit great, so I moved forward and attached it. The bottom, however, not so much, but I attached it anyway as I had no more signs to cut up. If I had to do this again, I would definitely cut the bottom and the top pieces right before I needed them for proper measurements. Next, I came in with Waverly chalk paint in crimson and painted the back of the box. I decided while I was painting it, I definitely didn't want to paint the entire box red, so I taped off the sides and the front to make red borders instead. To remedy the fact that the lid was too small, I attached 2-gallon paint stirrers together and cut them to the same width as the original piece. Then I painted it with the crimson chalk paint. Now that the crimson on the box was dry, I retaped it and painted the inside with Ivory chalk paint. Moving back to the lid, I taped 2 giant craft sticks to the back of the larger piece to raise it up to the same height of the crimson piece. Then I attached hinges purchased from Walmart with E6000 glue. While the E6000 was setting up, I used Waverly Wax and Antique to age the box. I kept adding thin layers until I was happy with the look of it. Then I went back and gave the lid the same treatment. Next, I attached the Sentimental sign to the lid. To attach the lid, first I glued a tumbling tower block to each of the side walls, then attached the lid to the box. I remembered I had this large rickrack I purchased on clearance from Walmart, so I decided to use it to add a little something extra to the mailbox and to disguise the paint stirrers. Now it's time to add the star of the show. I found that the small craft sticks from Dollar Tree are the same thickness of the bow tie and wrist and ankle embellishments, so I added quite a few to stabilize the gingerbread man on the front of the mailbox. Using wood glue and hot glue, I placed him in the center of the mailbox, and this project is complete. Stay tuned for final pictures. Despite all of the issues I had with this one, I absolutely love how it turned out. I just know the boys are going to love writing and receiving letters from Santa. If you missed any of my other Christmas in July videos, I have a playlist linked below. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and leave me a comment below. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and remember, love, inspire, create. See you next time.